I believe is the Twitcher mode. But this time around, it is going to be the blue one, Gragas or even Vi, as the Zeri is still up and available. But Vi is just a genuinely very good pick up against these immobile ADCs like the Aphelios, like the Zeri. However, it does depend on who the support is going to be for this Vi to synergize with.
Yeah, getting yourself your early jungle pick, which means the top esports could go with the Wukong, could go with the Gragas as well, if they so choose. Plenty of flex. The super flex of the Gragas can go in multiple different ways. Technically can also go support. Haven't really seen it at all in any of the regions, but gonna have that lock-in of the Xayah. And honestly, I don't know if I would prefer the Xayah here or the Rakan, because BLG could just go straight back to the Zeri and the Rakan. Very happy.
They're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the bot lane worked exceptionally well. I don't see why. And you're against, again, a low mobility AD carry.
They're going to just slam the Rakan right here as he is just bouncing back of a wonderful Rakan performance in that game 1. So what is top esports going to respond with? The Nautilus is something still very viable, as Rakan is relatively squishy in the early levels, and also it pairs well with a lot of these aggressive junglers that Tian has been loving. But it is going to be a Renata hover, and it is going to get locked in for Mark.
Getting that Renata does stop a lot of the engage event kind of coming in at you as BLG. A lot of disengage available for top esports between the Gragas ultimate, the Xayah ultimate, and the handshake, and of course the hostile takeover of the Renata. So plenty of ways of getting away from what BLG are trying to throw at you. But now top esports, they're going to start banning away some more of these things. Again, just kind of getting rid of what happened to them in the first game. So not going up against the Veigar. We're going to get rid of the Jack, so you're not going to pick up that on the first rotation. And BLG, they can really start to focus in on those mid lane bans as well, or even the jungle bans if they really want to. If they want to try and force this jungle rather than having it in the lane.
Yeah, QingTian very comfortable with something like the Gragas top lane. Already 5 games played in the regular split for LPL, so I'm expecting it to either go jungle or top. As rookie, you need him to be on a carry, something like the Yone, where he is comfortable and in his limits, where he is also able to provide a lot of that side lane pressure. Does seem like the way to victory for top esports in this game too, as the junglers are going to get narrowed down, as they believe that is going to be a top lane.
See what they are going to lock in here. That's going to be the Viego, so we now know that that's either going to be QingTian or Rookie with that in the top side. Still good here for top esports to make sure they can decide who they want to have the counter pick towards that last ban, or last pick I should say. But now BLG, you got to lock in your solo laners here. They could go for something for Bin. Again, he's very comfortable with taking a carry in that, or they could just try and all in with that engage. Remember, the lack of kind of, engage for top esports could be a bit of an Achilles heel for them if they aren't getting caught out. You only have so much to try and deal with it. Yeah, they're all inning. If they lock in this Galio, they are all inning on the engage.
They want JackeyLove dead, completely dead for this game too, but the natural response is going to be the Sylas for the mid lane, as you are able to steal away so many wonderful ultimates that BLG has already shown in their cards. But BLG, like you've been saying, a lot of all-in, the Rakan, the Galio, even Bin on his iconic Gnar. I have seen a bit of a shaky performance on this particular pick for Bin, but from his previous performance on the Fiora, I'm not going to be surprised if this is going to be absolute bloodshed for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's his most picks so far this split. 9 games, 5 wins, 4 losses, so still positive. Maybe we'll be going to a 50-50 after this game. We'll have to wait and see, but it's actually
role in this game, and now it is going to be all up to this Viego to get those resets online and get those kills. But if Elk gets out of control, I'm not too sure how you're going to be able to touch him.
Not quite sure, but we'll see what top esports are able to kind of do. The Gyos roar and the chaos can ensure afterwards. Absolutely love it. But BLG is fanning out very defensively, making sure they know what's going to be going on. No wards dropped at the moment. They're just going to drop a red side ward on the blue side, and everyone backs themselves away. So coming into this one here, BLG very confident in what they want to do right now. They want to dive. They want to make sure that JackeyLove has the worst time ever in the world. But what do top esports want to do? Where do they want to try and find their advantages?
Well, it's going to be my first time seeing the Sylas vs Gnar matchup for this specific game, so I'm not going to say too much on this, but Bin on something that is going to outrange the Sylas. I'm assuming he is going to have early push when it comes to lane priority. But this Vi pick, we saw it from Tian in game 1. And the weakness of it was that it was extremely squishy. So if Tian can just put the Vi behind from consistently invading, then this Vi we've seen just it disappear in a matter of seconds. Hopefully it makes it a 4v5 and Tian is able to make a bit of a canyon in that jungle role.
Canyon maybe in the LCK. But let's see if that gap
We
is,
have our own one.
we have our own one, yeah. It definitely feels like it's a bit of a gap sometimes in the jungle role between teams, but wait and see. Actually, I love the respect coming out here from Elk as well. So we talked about it a little bit in the last game where it's like, you know, you go for the Cole, you're looking to scale up, but the Doran's Blade has a hell of a lot of stacks which kind of innately build up into it. So recognizing that he might get caught out here by the Viego, so respecting that a little bit more. He picks himself up a Doran's Blade rather than the Cole, as you can see there. A little bit of a handshake being brought in. I think the top esports are going to be happier with that deal than On was.
Yeah, relatively chill early game for both sides, but I do want to mention that Zeri is obviously in the hands of Elk, but JackeyLove has responded with blinding the Xayah as On denied the Lovers duo, but when it does come to this matchup, there's a lot of trading in this bottom lane, perhaps even a first blood.
Yeah, flash for Ghost means that JackeyLove is not going to allow the sins of game number 1 to happen. Tian gets himself around the bin, looking for a bit of a reset here, so really good timing here for Bin if he recognizes that Tian could have gotten himself over the wall away from that vision. Really nicely done by him. He's going to go back, pick himself up a nice early no magic mantle and make sure that he is not getting caught out in any way, shape or form on this top side.
Shun has been spotted out and he is going to clear this ward, but in that bot lane 2v2, Elk did need to burn the flash as the CC landed from Mark and it was just a losing fight as BLG were forced to back. But when it does come to the team fights and items get online, if Elk doesn't have the cleanse available, it's going to be impossible for him to ever challenge JackeyLove on the Xayah, as you always have that root ability available, which if the Zeri gets rooted and she's not moving, then that's a very dead Zeri to me.
Yeah, I tend to agree there, and that's why we saw the Doran's Blade over the Cole start for Zeri or Elk on this Zeri, because he recognized, yeah, look, early on, I'm probably not going to be able to do as much onto the Xayah as I am on the Aphelios, so respecting JackeyLove is still in his head and many others. One of, if not, you know, kind of you considered for by many the best AD carry in the LPL. So we'll see. I think Leave and Elk definitely putting in some decent performances with recent dates to kind of put their name in that hat. Gala as well. Plenty of good AD carries. The LPL's always had pretty decent AD carries. I've always loved that.
I've always had this take where I think LPL has always had the group of best ADCs produced in the world, and LCK has always had the best mid laners. But now with Rulo joining the LPL, and he's originally from the LCK, I'm not too sure about that statement anymore. Yeah, even Viper, a lot of names in that role.
Deft. A lot of names, to be honest with you. It's funny as
I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Nobody knows, but now Rookie might be looking for Flash here. Flash in with the Q, gonna force the Gragas' flash out of him. And then we can kind of come back into where this mid lane will go. So Rookie will have level 6 very soon, so shouldn't be in too much of a danger as Bin can jump straight in with QingTian. Just try and trade back onto him. Isn't the mini Gnar form for the moment, but with that hyper proc, the abscond Duck doing very well. Might see a flash here from Bin if he's not careful. He's trying to burn himself away. Will we see the land of Kingslayer? We will not. And that's just QingTian gaining more and more off of this top side. Again, just such a powerful champion to have in your arsenal, having that Sylas to be able to flex.
Yeah, really good sidestep at the very end by Bin, where he is still able to hold onto that flash for these important major objectives, which Dragon is up and available. However, if you take a look, if QingTian is able to steal any of the amazing ultimates from BLG, it does make up for the lack of CC that they have compared to BLG, who does have the Vi, Rakan, and Galio, which are 3 tanky boys, to say the least.
Couple of fridges even. See, not quite getting the engage they wanted in that bot side. See the replay there. I think it was just, yeah, it's just the exact same thing we saw. So not really sure why we're showing this one here. But On does get hand shook and brought back by the feathers. Loses about half his HP. And again, Top Esports having a much better time of it this time around, having a lot more control in this bot lane, getting JackeyLove those stacks here onto that Cole, which means he will get his Gale Force, you would imagine, first, and that's going to be the big difference in to late game team wars, more specifically the Dragon that we see.
Yeah, and this level 6 full mark on the Renata is going to be so important for these wins if Top Esports want to opt into a straight up 5v5, as BLG, they are lacking a lot in terms of the range, as they can only go forward and commit everything onto the carries of Top Esports. So if Mark is safe and standing behind, then that value of an ultimate is going to get lots done, as Mark is very comfortable on all these enchanters, so I'm not going to be surprised if he pulls it off.
Level 6 is going to be hit by these mid laners and top laners. Junglers won't be too far behind it, and that's when we're going to start to see some movement, you would imagine, especially from this Galio.
Movement.
Movement. Some smooth movement. As Landy has gone to block. Yeah, trying to steal away a little bit of a ultimate. This is the thing, when you have a Gnar in your game, you don't ban the Sylas. The Sylas is just so much better than Gnar in terms of his ultimate usage, because he doesn't have a Mega Gnar bar. You can just use it whenever. It's so silly.
He's not put on a ticking time bomb, but you know what is going to be spawning in 20 seconds. So Herald available very soon for both junglers, as they have hit level 6, but my eyes are still on the supports spiking at that level 6, as they provide so much in terms of CC. But if they don't play it carefully with BLG, what's the Renata W called? The revive is going to save someone.
The bailout.
Bailout. Yes, that's the word I'm trying to look for. Learning with Oisin. I love it.
It's all the only thing my players have is just a hell of a lot of names for things. And now QingTian, gonna try and flash in underneath this tower, has got the Gnar ultimate to try and stun in, shove under the wall, and he gets first blood, but he will be turned back around. But in a 2v1, you take that as QingTian all day long.
You burn Shun's ultimate as well, and you get first blood into QingTian's hands. So that is just an overall dub for the side of Top Esports, and even Tian starting the Herald now, with both supports rotating towards this upper objective. BLG just didn't expect QingTian to squeeze out that last Gnar ultimate, as On accidentally presses flash.
I don't think he accidentally, I think he really wanted to try and dodge out on that CC, but that just feels so unnecessary. You're not going to contest for the Herald. You know that they're going up for it. That is an odd setup there from the MVP of game number 1. But let's have a look at the replay here. And again, it's why there's just so much priority with Sylas. His healing is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and BLG thought this was going to be it, but QingTian said no. He uses the Gnar ultimate and gets that kill, as it was perfectly in range of the tower. So tower may be the 6th member of BLG for game 2.
Mark has the hostile takeover now, so the 5th member of Top Esports is going to have access to that to try and stop any kind of engages or tower dives. And 1-for-1, that's pretty damn good for Top Esports, and they are gaining some CS leads, specifically in that jungle position. QingTian taking a fair chunk of his health bar being taken by Bin, who's going to heal up a nice little bit himself. Merc Tread's picked up early by Bin. I like that pickup for himself. Knows there's a hell of a lot of CC and just magic damage available to Top Esports early on. Just going to let Tian just kind of, prioritize this scuttle. And Rookie's going to cover him as well.
Tian is extremely ahead in terms of CS right now, and he hasn't even dropped the Herald, which will just generate even more gold for this Viego. But really great stuff for the side of Top Esports in this early game. But what I'm worried about is once BLG has those combos ready for any team fights, it might look a little bit tough to be JackeyLove if he uses his ultimate.
Coming back into this one here, it's a lot more controlled by Top Esports. And don't forget, they have the Viego. The resets belong to him. And you know who would love to have a Rakan and a Vi on their team? Top Esports. Yeah, exactly. Top Esports for sure. We'll see a bit of a 2v2 in this top side. It's Bin. Does get the knockback, jumps out and away. They won't get the Heartbreaker to come out. QingTian will fall. And that's just a really good response there. Bin on the edge of losing his life, but turns it into a positive.
Yeah, amazing reactions from Bin as he flashes away from Tian's ultimate. And it is going to be a 1-0 as we see an engage from On.
Engage from On. They're going to have the hostile takeover just to keep Mark alive, as there was no flash there onto the Rakan, but both supports using their ignites and their ultimates. Rookie thinking about maybe going for something here. Very difficult without those big ultimates available to him. Does still have the explosive cast, but nothing else too going to be happening. JackeyLove now getting jumped on here. The feathers will fly. The lightning crashes down. So, is this like Pokemon? Is electric super effective against bird or flying? Is that how this is going to work? We have to find out later.
I'm not too sure about that one, Oisin, but we see BLG forcing a lot of ultimates out of top esports before this dragon spawning in 20 seconds. And I would take the Zeri ultimate usage over JackeyLove's Xayah ult any day of the week, as now he no longer has that extra security up against something like the Galio and the Vi. Even Bin, not having the flash, but he is still going to be able to follow up with that TP for this dragon.
Well, dragon available, and without the hostile takeover, the Xayah ultimate, or even the Heartbreaker from Tian, you are going to not really have a great contest at all. The Rift Herald gets dropped into mid lane. That should secure at least 2 plates going over to Tian on this Viego. So nicely set up for him. And it's going to be a Cloud Soul, as we can see there. Ooh, he's a big man. He's thick, but he ain't that thick. On will get himself back at the base.
His belly was a little too flat to get onto On, but Tian is going to regain this bottom side vision as Elk did burn the ultimate from earlier. I was pretty surprised that On decided to engage in the middle lane when you do have a Galio versus Gragas. Like, nothing is dying. They're just 2 fridges that do absolutely no damage. You have to only depend on the ADCs and these 5v5s. So can Elk do it once again up against JackeyLove, or has he found his mojo?
I was just going to say there, top esports opting out of fighting for the dragon, but will opt into fighting around the red buff. They're actually looking for bot lane more so than anything else. The lightning crash is back and available. JackeyLove still waiting on his ultimate as the Everfrost gets picked up by QingTian. The Kenpung Chainsword being picked up by Shun, and you know, a lot of people have a lot of choice words about that particular one. We'll see if it does end up having any kind of major impact on this game, but I haven't seen Yagao use the hero's entrance just yet, so waiting to see the first real implementation of that ultimate. And mid lane's got a bit of an island. We've seen a lot of supports activity around this mid lane, but no one really kind of gaining a lot from it.
Honestly, other than top lane, I think all of these remaining lanes have been relatively quiet, but the Herald is going to be spawning in 1 minute, and BLG making their way up towards QingTian. He does have the flash, and Tian is hurrying his way to stop this dive.
Rookie not going to know exactly where everybody is. If he had known how close he was to danger, maybe he wouldn't have been as nonchalant about it. And it's still top esports.
JackeyLove isn't moving.
Yeah, I was going to say JackeyLove staying on that bot side, maybe to confirm that tower. QingTian will have the Gnar ultimate for a little bit. See if he's able to kind of keep that for this Rift Herald spawning, but it's 40 seconds away, so he might actually lose it before this fight breaks out, and that means he won't have that big teamfight ultimate for that in that particular instance, but we'll say there's plenty to be choosing from there. So top esports finally moving JackeyLove up, but he's a little bit isolated. He needs to be very careful of where he's moving towards.
The boys are here.
The boys are here. Just trying to make sure they gain and keep mid lane control. Elf not got the Immortal Shield boat just yet, so I would imagine BLG, they don't really want to fight for this, but they do have Yagao on the bot side. He could Heroes Entrance himself in.
Yep, especially not having that TP available, but the Galio won't take the tower extremely fast. However, it does seem like top esports is committing all 5 to this Herald, as Yagao is going to comfortably take that bottom tier 1. I'm pretty surprised as they give the second Herald and all Heralds over to Tian, and that will just generate even more, a bigger gold lead for this Viego, but it doesn't matter because you have so many scaling options if you are looking for these team fights once the vision has been set up. So On, as his vision wasn't set up correctly, BLG not opting into a losing fight, which is exactly what you want for a best of series.
Exactly, not opting into a fight they feel like they can't win. Going to be trading about towers, so really just kind of the setup there. Just trading one tower for another. They're going to lose their mid-tier 1, which is obviously, you know, arguably more valuable. Actually, maybe not going to lose it just yet. He's going to take it very, very low. But look, minute 30 until that dragon spawns. How much HP is that on? It's got to be, yeah, 47. Not exactly ideal. Honestly, Mark could go over with his shield, yeah, and one auto it if he really wanted it to. So we'll see now. But just over a minute now, Kitty, before this dragon spawns. It is a Cloud Soul, so still very valuable for a lot of these teams, especially for the out of combat movement speed that is kind of underrated in my opinion. But where do you want to see these two teams going for? It looks like top esports going for a very early reset just to make sure they're in the pit.
The mid-tier one does end up following. Can we get an 07 in chat? I'm sorry, I'm going to Twitch streamer mode, but Bin doesn't have that TP available for this next up-and-coming fight, so he does have to make his way down there. QingTian does have the TP. Potentially could look for a flank with the Sylas, depending on which ultimate he steals. But all eyes are still onto the AD carries of BLG, as I think JackeyLove has an easier time when it comes to these team fights because he does have that extra security of an ultimate, while Elk, he just needs to pray and hopefully unsaves him in these 5v5s.
Oh, QingTian, he just used the Everfrost as well. He steal away the ultimate, but he's almost certainly going to die here. The quickness will eventually hit its mark. There is the taunt. There is the kill. Bin picking up that one for himself. 2-0 and 1. With no real response at the moment. You'll get a bit of damage on that bot side, but it looks like they're happy to give up this dragon for this tower. So BLG making a conscious decision to say, look, you're the soul. We don't need this dragon right now. We can just get a pick and get some more gold.
It's pretty surprising to see that QingTian is currently 1-3 with how well he played the laning phase, even getting a return kill onto Xun. But BLG investing so much into Bin on this Gnar as they do secure the top tier 1 for that dragon trade. But when top esports are comfortably sitting on 2, they are slowly working towards that soul point.
This is BLG looking a lot more measured, a lot more tempered. They've actually swung the gold about 2.5 the last few minutes because they were down about 1,000, they're up about 1,500. So very nicely done for them at the moment. Mortal Shield Bow does get picked up by Elk, and it's a bit of a slow burner right now, Kitty. We're seeing a lot of very tempered and measured setups as on. Walking straight into Tian. And Rookie, they may look for a bit of an engage right now. Rookie takes a fair bit of chunk off of Xun. Just backs himself away. No quickness available made that engage kind of difficult, if I'm being honest. And a level 11 on the Tian ultimate makes it so that he has a fair bit of damage himself.
Yeah, it's pretty jarring to think about the difference between the first series we had between RA and JDG with, I believe, 40-something kills at 30 minutes, and now it's only 4 at 20. I'm a little bit caught out.
Oh, a TP is being committed here. That's the Sylas coming in onto this. Xun immediately flashing away because he knows he's in a lot of trouble here. They're going to commit and try and burst him out. They will get him. And a reset for Tian. So now, more priority coming over to top esports. There's nothing to take outside of that. They're just looking for Elk right now. Oh, I thought Tian was going to be able to get over there. Doesn't actually commit to it. So what else can they get out of it? They just got kind of priority, and on a little bit of no man's land is going to have to use the quickness and possibly just keep himself over the side. Yeah, I was going to say, has got Yagao over the wall, so uses his quickness to make sure he does not get killed, but still, good pick off by top esports. They're not letting go just without a fight.
And that is just, in the end, the difference between a mid-tier 1 being down, as top esports had a lot of vision control over this bottom side jungle. But my next question is, when is Yagao going to press his first ultimate in this game?
I know,
has he
right?
pressed it once yet?
No, he has not.
20 minutes.
Level 12 already has the second point in it. Maybe at level 16 he'll feel like it's powerful enough to go for. Actually going for the Rod of Ages build as well, giving himself extra tankiness. And sometimes we see the Everfrost coming back as well, but this time around recognizing, look, I just need to kind of delete JackeyLove if I catch out on him, or even anyone, to be honest. The big thing I will say is that, yes, you have an awful lot of CC on the side of top esports with QingTian going with that Everfrost. Not a lot of tanky stats, a lot of HP, but not a lot of resistances. And now, Xun looks like he maybe gets some revenge, but not going to fully commit onto that one there because he doesn't know exactly where everyone is.
Yeah, I would say that top esports, when it does come to their front line, it gives a lot of false sense of security, as they have the health, but they don't have the resistances like armor and MR. So when it does come to these important 5v5s, realistically, if Elk gets online, I mean, they just get shredded. So hopefully top esports don't fall into that loophole, but BLG does look like a bit of a slow burn, as all of the tier 1s are getting taken off, as they just picked up that bottom one as well.
Yeah, look, I meant to say it to you as well. LCK finished up a little early. We had to take over from them. So, you know, it got a little bit of a slower game, a little bit more tempered in solidarity with our LCK brothers. But you see On doing exceptionally well to keep Mark and his vision control kind of away from the rest of everything that's possible. Rookie and the rest of the team. This is the thing, top esports have found themselves in a situation where they kind of have to be as a 5-man unit. They can't really be isolated just because of how quick the side of BLG can get themselves into a side lane, into a, you know, what could potentially be a 3v3, all of a sudden turns into a 5v3 in favor of BLG just with those ultimates. So we shall see.
The gold lead? It was dead even.
It was dead even, but now Sean may be in a lot of trouble here. We're going to see the quickness used, double knock-up, and this is exactly what I was talking about. They're going to get onto Mark. He goes Elk, pushes forward, knowing how powerful he can be. Elk does use the cleanse immediately, and now Rookie with the explosive cast can't keep himself alive for much longer. He will be peppered down, and that's going to be 2 quick kills over to BLG. That could mean the Baron.
And Elk does it again, 2-0 on the Zeri. Absolute peace for the first 20 minutes. But all it took was 1 engage from the side of BLG. And Zeri is now online compared to Xayah, also taking down the tier 1 tower. Dragon spawning in 40 seconds. They're going to be basing with a lot of gold, Oisin.
A hell of a lot of gold. Look at the replay here, because again, this is top esports looking for the kill.
Yeah, they force everything onto Shun, and he died so slowly, while Elk on the other side of the wall was just DPSing everyone with this Runans. And of course the Galio coming in from Yagao just separates the side of top esports, and JackeyLove trying his best to run away, but this Zeri without the hard CC of any champion, he is just popping off as Rookie has to fall as it in as well.
And again, want to call out On as a fantastic mitigator. He went in to try and save out Sean, then saw JackeyLove and immediately changed his target and said, no, Sean won't die as long as JackeyLove's not putting out damage. They don't have it available to them on the side of top esports without him. So now, Dragon is live. No real control here for the side of top esports, but they are forcing themselves in. BLG looking to try and just kind of confirm this Dragon, keep that soul away, but QingTian actually lost the ultimate. QingTian lost the Gnar ultimate, so he doesn't have that available. Bin is going to go Mega right at the perfect time, so top esports can't go for the fight. Oh, the timing is all wrong. It's so unfortunate for top esports. They don't have a way in.
Bin's looking, you can smell it from him, but it is going to diffuse as the Dragon goes over towards the side of BLG. Top esports going to force a tower in the mid lane, however. Can they get it? Is BLG going to give it to them? Is the question, as Bin is showing on that bottom wave.
They're not. TP able to be used there by Yagao because he still has plenty to use there. Quickness used by On just to make sure he can run as fast as he can. You can't catch me, I'm the Rakan man. He pops that quickness and gets himself the hell out.
He's indeed the Birdman of this game. But top esports, they're just going to clear out some of this vision. They are on a lot of wards.
They're going for this. This is a repeat. This is a repeat of game number 2. Or game number 1, excuse me, in game number 2. They start it, but they don't finish it off. Yagao does not get CC'd here by Rookie. And with the Scryers there to make sure they're going for it. This time, top esports think the better. They've learned from their mistakes in game number 1, and they will not flip the Baron this time round.
No burger flipping, especially when the series being so much the difference between 4th and 5th. As BLG playing extremely slow, as Bin is getting a lot of that side lane pressure on this Gnar. 40 CS up, 40 or 30 CS up, I can't count. Don't do maths on broadcast, everyone. But On, he has been just kind of getting caught, but top esports, they didn't seem like they're punishing him too much.
I mean, On's got so many ways of getting out. It's why the Rakan has been seeing so much more priority, is that his skill expression and his utility to be able to run in, jump out, back in. No one's really kind of contesting him in a lot of these senses. So again, it's without the stolen or the hijacked Gnar ultimate from QingTian, your engage options are very limited. And we talked about this from draft. When you lock in things like the Gragas, the Xayah, and the Renata so early, you need engage, and they're relying so heavily on QingTian to be that engage.
He ignited Tian as he was backing, just to stop him, but it didn't stop because there is a buffer time as Tian managed to get away with just an ignite lit onto his head. But BLG looking to take over this topside vision. There is a sneaky ward behind them as TPs are online.
TPs are online. Look at that gold there as well. Bin and Elk just miles ahead of everyone else. I will say JackeyLove not doing too badly for himself, but really not seeing a lot for Rookie right now. Has got everything stacked up for himself, so it's fairly tanky. He is On. Needs to be careful. They know the Gragas is there now. They need to back themselves away. The belly bop does not land. Yagao and Yon just kind of hide themselves away. While this is happening, QingTian and Bin having their own little 1v1. The island that is top lane has moved to bot. The solo laners living up to their name, as Hullbreaker was the second item for Bin, so he's quite happy in this side lane. He's actually going to come out the better of these trades and the damage he'll put down onto the turret.
Yeah, most definitely, as Bin is just trying to... I think I saw Tian E-ing in. That was a bit scary. Tian is going to make his way down there as hopefully they get a catch onto Bin, which is engaging right now.
There is no healing cook coming out here. But while that happened, Mark died because you've got Tian He's been trying his best. He flashes the way. QingTian, will you have the abscond of Duck? He will be able to kill. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Tian and just kind of using their names as a kind of, we're a duo. We will make sure we get the most top laner for support. I do tend to favor that for top esports.
All of these ultimates were burnt from the side of BLG, the Rakan, the Zeri. I'm assuming Mark will just get caught out of position. Run, little bird.
There's a flash available, a couple more seconds. He's just got to heal up a little bit here. So I like this from On. A couple more seconds and he had a little bit of a movement. Flashes.
Flash W.
Just get himself the W. The flag pop though. Rookie answers in kind. So that's now a 2-for-1 trade. You do have a TP on Bin. This could be risky.
They're starting it.
But they're going to go for it now, Kitty. As they got a teleport available, but Bin will not have. John is there. There's the teleport coming in from the Sylas. QingTian will be joining in. Mark jumping over to the side to try and play keep away. They will steal away the Vi ultimate to keep Sean out of the pit. But Bin says, I'm going into the pit. They're now isolated. As we can see the Tian coming in. The Baron is secure, but can they get anybody out with it? Tian has to flash away, but Elk is following him. It's a little bit separated right now, but it's a 2-kill loss. Oh, they got the Baron, but they flipped it all. Top esports get the objective, but they lose everything else.
It's technically a 3-for-1 trade, but the Baron does get secured by Tian, as Shun was occupied in the backlines that entire time. You trade a Baron, but what does that mean in terms of the economy?
The economy's crashing right now for top esports. Yes, you get the Baron. It was a bit of a, what they call a dead cat bounce. It goes up and then continues to go down, unfortunately, for the top esports. But now with 7 seconds till the Dragon spawns, they're going to lose. They're going to lose tier 2s. They're going to lose control over this map basically entirely, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of going. I think Elk wants to take this because he wants his Nobori quick plays before this next fight.
3 items online for the Zeri is going to be extremely scary, as this is going to be the soul point for either team. But JackeyLove having a bit of a summoner checkup. He does have the flash available, even though dying with that Baron buff. So hopefully he's able to pop off as they return with the Dragon. So what happened mid lane? They committed a lot of ultimates onto Mark. Where does he just not use the bailout to save him? Oh, he just gave up.
Yeah. I think he was actually channeling it before he could actually get it off. He died. So, bit unfortunate there. CC literally till death, but now it's a 4,000 gold lead. The Dragon has been started. Will be taken very quickly here, but aside top esports, but not quick enough. BLG on their toes, ready to fight this one. Yagao will have the hero's entrance if they want to go for a full 5. Sean and Bin are your engages, but Bin doesn't have his mega right now. He hasn't got the rage built up. He's looking to try and build it right now. He was looking for a couple of camps maybe to try and go for that one here. Sean looking for maybe the fight. They're going to say the Dragon reset is secure. That's the whole point here for top esports. QingTian steals away the Mega Gnar ultimate, and now they go in on top of Rookie, who does get himself popped back and to go into stasis. There's Bin though, on top of On, and they're going to try and get QingTian down. There's Gragas holding down the Galio as well. It's all on Elk to do this damage right now. You've got Tian cosplaying as Galio. Elk is the carry. Elk needs to pop off. Everyone else on the side of BLG has died, but these health bars are so low. QingTian going forward. He'll die. 1, 2. Oh my god, he got 3. The only reason QingTian stays alive because he has the bailout.
Oh my god, this is LPL absolute shenanigans in this team fight. Elk just kills 3 people as a return, 1v4, as QingTian barely lives from the bailout. What an insane fight, but the 3rd Dragon is going to go into the hands of top esports.
Oh my god, what a fight there. It looks like, yes, top esports do win the fight, but my, they have to pay for it. Let's have a look at the replay here, because it gets exceptionally well at isolating On and Bin away from this.
Yeah, QingTian gets his hands onto the Gnar ultimate and he just zones out On and Bin from the backside, as this fight was relatively split for the side of BLG. You even see Elk on a different page going towards that mid lane, so they were missing their ADC for a majority of this fight, but it doesn't matter because Zeri do Zeri things. However, JackeyLove was able to get a lot of things done in this team fight. Elk did manage to save BLG from a hard losing fight by getting a triple kill in the very end.
Technically, bro, watch QingTian. He gets the bailout, which keeps him alive right here. And that's the only reason he's able to kill Elk.
Oh my god. JackeyLove flashed forward and he died to the Runons or something. He died to like the click from Zeri.
Oh, Sean. They're using a lot to try and burst in on top of him. He has the Radiant Virtue, so gets himself a fair bit of a shield as well as health, as he's not quite going down just yet. Finally, with the Heartbreaker, does get committed upon, but they have to use a fair bit there. But now they're going to try and turn this one on to QingTian, who gets caught up by the Zeri. The bailout is there. You just got to reset, and he is dead. Ooh, they almost get the reset on top of him. Elk is still putting out damage.
Rookie is
cannot walk. Cannot walk forward into this one here. They've got Rookie with the flash. He goes in, but the cleanse instantly means that the Galio can come out and forward. They are going to get Elk into the hostile takeover. They are 2v4, because look at on the bot side, Bin is just kind of going by himself saying, I can take this game, I can take an inhibitor. They have to reset right now, but I think they're just going to lose their base.
Once the Gragas ultimate misses, what's going to stop Elk from moving forward? Mark's ultimate gets placed as well, but Bin doesn't care. He's getting an inhib in this bottom lane.
He is, and like I like the idea there from Top Esports. They thought that maybe they could get more kills. They just got 2. Everything's looking great. Bin isn't got, didn't actually had TP and just didn't. Straight up, just did not TP because he didn't feel like he needed to. And again, more and more advantages going to BLG.
I mean, BLG, technically, they lost the Baron, and in terms of the gold, they are only a little bit ahead. But that 4K gold is definitely in the hands of Elk. As On and Elk saw an angle onto QingTian here, engaging and spending every resource onto the Sylas. As the fail used, but the return 1-for-1 onto the support as well, which turns into a 2v4. I even call that Rookie had flash here, which was going to be the guaranteed CC onto Zeri, but they just didn't have the follow-up. As there's going to be a bit more fighting here, Tian is looking.
Rookie is looking for On, but not going to find it right now as we're getting into late game stages of this game. Definitely a moment or two there available for either side to make this their own. Remember, a 2-0 for BLG could be massive. Secures themselves playoffs. Gets them back into what looks like a playoff-ready team. Top Esports, they need to stop. They need to stop the slump. So far, this could be their 4th in a row in terms of series. They would have 6 losses of them. 2/3 of them coming in the last 2 weeks. It's just not the form you want. QingTian goes in, trying to find Shun before this Baron spawns in 3 seconds. Not going to be able to get anything. Just steal away the Vi ultimate. But all of a sudden, you're looking at this and saying it has to be Elk. You have to find Elk. Rookie moving up towards this top side. Maybe finding Bin. Bin knowing that he has got that hull breaker. He's got so much damage to be able to try and just put into these turrets if he's left alone for too long.
All BLG needs to do is just play protect the president, protect Elk. He has the flash available. They're starting the Baron right now. Bin behind the enemy lines.
They shred it. They don't have Gragas. Rookie's going to have to TP in, but where? Where can he TP to? That's the question. 4,000. 3 coming in. On's going to put down the ultimate. It's going to get Galio with the hero's entrance as well. They try to go over the wall, but Tian cannot get it, and he will be followed by the Vi. Now they can look for Mega Gnar on the Bin. They're going to see the feathers going flying, and Bin finds it. That's it. That's the game. They need to try and kill off this Zeri. They will. They eventually get them down, but the Xayah has fallen as well. Bin doing so much. It's all on QingTian right now, but he shall not survive. And it's a 5-for-1. BLG will 2-0 Top Esports.
5-for-0 trade, and Bin coming in. Coldbreaker now lands a 4-man ultimate, and this is going to be their 4th win for a series in a row, and they're going to secure themselves even a better spot in the playoffs.
2-0, and the win streak continues here for BLG. Doing absolutely fantastically for themselves, and that is a statement win for them as well.
Honestly, I could have seen that game going either ways, but once the ADCs had been taken off the board, this Gnar on Bin got out of control in terms of just the damage, and it was just fridges versus fridges. But in the end, the difference maker was Bin, and he has been exceptional for his recent performances on BLG.
Yeah, I mean, huge, massive